And we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of A Bookish Moment. My name is Sarah Burr.
And I am JC Kenny. And I tell you what, folks, this is a super exciting day for me personally, because we have two brand new reveals for you all to share for you. This is going to be a little bit of a different episode. So Sarah, I think it's time to get bookish.
I think it's time to get bookish. We do have a lot of media things happening today, which is very exciting.
Yes, we do.
For folks that tuned in and heard our introduction, you may notice a new sound behind the visual. We're really excited to introduce our new theme song for all of our It's Bookish Time productions. And JC, you want to tell our viewers a little bit about how the theme came to be?
Yeah, thanks. This is pretty exciting. This is one of those proud dad moments. Sarah, and really, Sarah, you're the one who brought it up. But we started talking in the spring about how we wanted to come up with our own theme song. That the one we've used for the past couple of years has been fabulous and it's a lot of fun, but there would be some opportunities for us if we kind of took that creative leap and found somebody to literally compose a theme song for us. Fortunately, my younger son was a music education major, and is now a music educator, and he plays any number of instruments. And so with Sarah's blessing, I approached my son Aiden and said, hey, what would you think about composing some intro music for us? And because one of the things that he has done from time to time during his college career was mess around with composing and stuff like that. So he said, sure, he'd give it a shot. And we pretty much just gave him carte blanche, said we'd like something upbeat, something jazzy, and didn't really ask for much more than that. He then went and gave us some ideas from some of the jazz masters, a sample from a Miles Davis track, and a few other things. And after a few months, he sent us back in September an initial demo, using fancy lingo, of the Bookish Moment theme, which is kind of a pared down version of the full theme, which y'all will hear next week. But the initial, the Moment theme features a mandolin, or not a mandolin, a ukulele, some drums, trombone, and Aiden did it all. He performed it, he recorded it, he wrote it, he produced it, and then the one that you will then hear next week for our big fancy season opener for the Bookish Hour, that includes some trombones harmonizing and things like that. And so I'm real thrilled with the final product. I'm excited to have given, my kid an outlet for his creative abilities. And, so if anybody, sales pitch, if anybody out there is interested in having somebody, if you've got any kind of like show or blog or webcast or whatever, and you're looking for some music, hit us up, hit Sarah and me up, and we can put you in touch with Aiden.
When I first got the initial track, I could not believe, I was like, this captures the essence of our show so perfectly. And I have been so happy with it. I've been dancing around my apartment all day long, just like thinking about it. And folks will get to hear more of the theme during our outro when we unfortunately conclude our show after 30 minutes. But yeah, so it's so amazing. Such a big thank you to Aiden for all the work that he did. And super excited to be using it going forward.
Yeah, definitely. So, so that's one of our media things we wanted to let you know about. And we also want to take a second, want to say hi to Mizan and Mark Baker. Guys, thanks for, hanging with us, because you two are in for a big surprise, because Sarah is going to give us a sneak peek into her brand new book, baby. Sarah, you want to take it from there?
I sure do. And so, what I will be sharing this afternoon, you guys know that I have been talking about this mysterious book blogger mysteries for a really, really long time now. I wrote this series back in 2017. It was my second attempt at a cozy mystery, and it was my first attempt at trying to make it as cozy as possible, because folks know my Coco Klein books. They're very modern, they're very tech focused, and they're snarky. Coco's got some pizzazz that, sometimes you don't come across people that are that sarcastic in the cozy mystery genre. And so I really wanted to write the cozies that I absolutely love reading, where it's just that warm sense of welcoming community. And so I started doing that, and I realized, oh, Sarah, you're incapable of not being snarky. You're incapable of not talking about technology. So I had to blend it a little bit differently, with distinguishing the tone and the setting and the feel, because now that this will be my fourth book series that I have going on. All my heroines have very distinctive voices. And Winnie Lark, who is the main character, she's kind of this melting pot of everybody. Even my crime-solving Duchess in a fantasy realm. Winnie she's like a really nice, she embodies a lot of the different traits that I value in all of my main characters. So it's really cool to finally see this come to fruition. We're going to talk a lot more about what this process has been like. But before we do, for those of you who don't subscribe to my newsletter, this will be the first time that you're going to be seeing both the cover of my new book coming out, as well as me really announcing the title, because I've been saying Book Blogger Mystery Book 1 for way too many months now. So thank goodness that ends today. So without further ado, we are going to play a little video for you. Fingers crossed that all of our technology works correctly. And I hope you enjoy the global reveal of the Book Blogger Mysteries. A new cozy mystery series is coming your way. With her TBR pile growing by the minute, Winnie Lark should be reading. But when her movie star brother arrives for a visit, Winnie must place a bookmark in the pages of her normal life. She thought her secluded cottage in Copper Bay, Massachusetts would be the perfect spot to reconnect. Instead, Strider Lark becomes suspect number 1 when a local reporter is found murdered outside Winnie's home. With the spotlight on her brother, Winnie takes a page out of the cozy mysteries she loves and launches her own investigation. Harnessing her tech-savvy skills and bookish knowledge, Winnie thumbs through a trail of cryptic clues in her charming harborside town. It's a race to the last page to unmask the culprit before Strider goes from leading man to dastardly villain, or worse. The killer strikes again. Murder is just a click away for book blogger Winnie Lark in Over My Dead Blog, first in the Book Blogger Mysteries by Sarah E. Burr. More bookish news coming soon. Well, folks, that was the grand reveal of Over My Dead Blog, which is first in the Book Blogger Mysteries, featuring Arwen Winnie Lark, who is a book blogger. And she's been waiting a long time to meet you all. So I'm super excited that this project is finally moving forward, and I can't wait to share more details about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm really thrilled too. Like Sarah kind of touched on, I subscribe to her newsletter, so I got to look at the trailer the other day, and it's so much fun. And the title Over My Dead Blog, is just, you got to love that. So now I get to put Sarah in the hot seat and be interviewer here. And I guess first off, Sarah, one of the things I'd like to know of, how did you come up with the idea for Winnie to be, for her career, to be a book blogger? Why that?
I think initially I wanted to create something that hadn't really been touched on in the cozy mystery genre before, because we're always trying to find that hook or that niche that people haven't read about, and so they're curious, what do we have going on here? And back in 2017, when I was developing this series, there were food blogger books, there were people who were doing online blogging for travel blogs and news articles, but I really didn't see a whole lot of space for book blogging. And I was like, wow, there's so many cozy mysteries out there about libraries, about bookstores, and it's let's mesh the two of these together, and thus having a book blogger. Of course, it was also how can I begin to use what my expertise are, which is technology, even though I didn't want to focus too much on it. But I wanted there to be kind of some technical aspect to really showcase that Winnie is a modern heroine. She's somebody who is going to use social media. She's not going to be as in tune with it as someone like Coco Klein is, per se, but she definitely has some skills that maybe the average person doesn't have, because she is a web designer, a web coder. So she can manipulate code or run scripts on computers to find information. And I thought that would be a really fun way to use her skills when it came to solving the mystery.
Okay, well, cool. Well, one of the things, and I honestly believe this, and Sarah, you and I have talked about this, is that in our careers as authors, book bloggers are, among some of the, like our buddy Mark Baker, and thank you, Mark, for watching and hanging out with us. This show is kind of for you, because book bloggers are superheroes for us. They, we wouldn't reach nearly as many readers without them.
And I think the one thing that I really wanted to showcase in the series is how much work goes into creating a blog, to getting the information that you're putting up and sharing with readers. Winnie is actually on vacation during the first book because her brother is visiting her for the first time. However, she's still getting a barrage of emails from publicists, from authors, to be featured on her blog. She's kind of scrambling around to accommodate people who are coming in with last minute requests, because she feels like, I understand that, these people writing a book, it's sharing part of yourself with the world, your book baby. And she is very conscientious of that and supportive of that. And so it is really, trying to showcase how the unsung heroes of the book blogging world and how much they do to champion authors and the books that they love.
Yeah, very true. Absolutely. 100%. Well, so we've talked a little bit about, we've mentioned Winnie and Strider, their brother and sister. Can you talk to us a little bit more about them?
This was the first time that in any book really that I've ever written where I decided to focus on a family dynamic. In the Glenmeyer Wynn mysteries, you have Hazel and Poppy, who are aunt and niece, and they're each other's best friends, but there's not a whole lot of family drama that they're dealing with because they're the last people in their family. But Winnie and Strider, they are brother and sister, they're twins, and they have a very, very complicated relationship. They love each other a whole lot. However, Strider is a movie star. He is one of the most popular actors in Hollywood at the moment, and Winnie is a very much an introvert. And so her life when she was living in California was very different and full of a lot of anxiety because of Strider's role in Hollywood and people kind of getting close to her just so that they can get close to her brother. And that just wasn't working for her. So she moves across the country to Copper Bay, Massachusetts, which is inspired by the time that when I was living in Massachusetts and just like the really cute coastal towns that they have in the area. And so there's not only is there physical space between them, but because their careers are really going off in different directions, their sibling bond has really been strained. So with Strider's visit being the first time that they've really connected in, I think, 3 years, there's a lot of unresolved issues at play where, Winnie, she wants to repair the relationship. She wants to really rely on her brother as she once did. But she has a hard time kind of putting back all of the family angst that has grown out from him being really famous, and because her parents are very much focused on her brother and helping her brother to succeed. So she's got a lot of heavy stuff that she's dealing with from a family dynamic. And this was the first time that I've ever really done that in any of the material that I've ever written. So that was really fun to explore. It was really hard to explore because, there's a lot that she has to process, but she's also thrown in the middle of a mystery and she wants to help clear her brother's name. So she's juggling these two warring factions within her of like, my brother kind of left me high and dry, but I love him and I want to help him. So it definitely paints an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to take a second to say hi to Farmhouse Reader and DHB. Thank you all for joining us. And Sarah, I hope this will make you feel good when you were talking about the book blogger life. Mark chimed in and said, and yes, this sounds like my blogging life, if only it were my day job. So, yes, there is a lot that goes in there. So, and talking about challenges, not just with Winnie and her kind of fraught relationship with Strider, you have had a little bit of a fraught relationship with this book.
Indeed.
In this series. You have talked about the fact that you originally got the idea 6 years ago, holy cow, back in 2017. And it's a really inspiring story. So I was wondering if you could kind of share with us all the ups and downs, and there have been a lot of both, in bringing Over My Dead blog to the world.
The fact that you just said 6 years, it's like, for some reason, 2017 is like 3 or 4 years ago in my mind, but 6 years is a lot of time. And that actually makes me feel a lot better because not only were there challenges in the publishing process and the road to publication, but once I decided to independently publish and put this book out in the world by myself, I realized how much I'd grown as a writer since 2017, and having to revisit the manuscript with the lens of, the Sarah Burr writing style that I have now, that was way more challenging than I expected. I thought when I got the rights back to my book earlier this year, that's like, oh, like sweet, like I'll just do another round of copy edits and it'll be out in the world. No, that I wish that had been the case, because then we would have definitely had this book in the hands of readers earlier. But there was a lot that, over the years that I have grown to understand about the writing process. It's something that every day you learn something new. And there was a lot that I had to do to really bring this book editorially up to my standards. In regards to the actual road to publication, I have been very lucky in the fact that I have had experience both in the indie realm as well as being published by a traditional publishing house. And so when I encountered the fact that this book was sold to a publisher, but because of things that were out of my hands, the publishing process just wasn't moving forward. And I decided, instead of waiting for something to happen, that I had the ability to make it happen myself. And I think that as writers that we're really lucky to have those options now. If this had happened 10 or 20 years ago, I probably still would be waiting for the book to be published. So it's really humbling to be able to be in control as much as we are these days. And I am very lucky that I've been able to get the rights back to my work, to take it and to enhance it to be better than I originally thought that it could be. So it's been a journey.
It has, and it's almost complete. Some would say that the journey never ends in the book publishing world, but
yes.
We're going to celebrate the high points. Want to take a second to say hi to David Plank. Thanks for jumping in. And Mizanne also mentioned that maybe winning will teach me some things to improve her blog. You've inspired me to keep at it. So there you go, Sarah. There's a little.
That's very well. I'm hoping. Winnie she's very lucky in the fact that her blog is in her world is extremely popular, and she is, and the reason why I think that it is so popular is because she blogs anonymously as someone called the Wren. And I was actually thinking about this a couple months ago. It's like, why did I choose the Wren as her blogging name? But it was really along the lines of, Winnie has, I had mentioned she has a fraught relationship with her family, but her last name is Lark. And at the end of the day, she does love her family. She wants to be closer to them. And so the fact that there's like the two bird crossovers, it's like, like that's why I selected it.
Very nice. So she's not going to be like the anonymous blogger and I can't think of the name of the show, the super popular show. I think it was on Netflix or maybe HBO.
Gossip Girl.
No, it was the Victorian one. It was the Victorian. Anyway,
Bridgerton.
Yes, Bridgerton. Yeah, with that one. So she's not going to be snarky like that.
She's not going to be snarky. She definitely is. She lifts people up. She's actually very excited about the direction that her blog is going in because she's thinking about having selling merchandise that's like the Wren themed, and having bookmarks and book totes. And it was really fun to think about, like, how would if I had a super popular blog and people actually wanted things, wanted to buy things that I made, like, what would I be selling? So it was really fun to approach her, the entrepreneurial side of what she's doing, to enhance and to really flesh that out.
Well, that is so cool. Yeah, that's neat. That's really cool to hear. Well, unfortunately, you know me, I've got to do the time check. We've only got a little over 5 minutes. DHB wanted to know, would like to know what else is on the writing table.
What else? Indeed. So because I am, I actually just received copy edits back from Over My Dead blog today. So because this is a independently published book, I'm able to really move at a quick pace and move at my own pace, which is like a million miles a minute, I feel like. So what I'm doing is I'm working on getting the formatting done so that I can get EPUB copies out to readers who may be interested in reading the book early, and reviewing and sharing their feedback on social media. And if any of our bookish viewers would be interested in being a part of my review team, I do have a link for you to visit. It's a Google form. If you want to check it out, it's just asking for, if you're a book blogger, if you're a bookstagrammer, any help to increase awareness and to celebrate the release of Over My Dead blog, please feel free to sign up. I would absolutely love to have you a part of the team. But writing-wise, I'm also working on the next Glenmire Whim mystery. I am hoping to have that in the hands of readers by the end of 2023, which will be here before we know it. And then beyond that, I am waiting for edits back on book 3 in the Coco Klein in my trending topic mysteries. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is. And amongst that, since we are celebrating Over My Dead blog, and not to get the cart ahead of the horse, but you did reveal the cover and we're kind of teasing everybody. Do you have a pub date yet for it?
Yes, I do. And it's actually right around the corner. It's going to come out on Halloween.
Fun.
The reason why it's coming out on Halloween will be very apparent once people start reading it. It does take place in autumn. There is a big Halloween festival in Copper Bay that is kind of the backdrop for everything happening in town. So I'm really excited that the time is rapidly approaching. And I think the being able to move as fluidly as we are able to in the indie side of this business, I just want to get this book out to readers. I've been talking about it for way too long, and I have people that reach out to me every month. They're like, is this coming? Is this happening? It's like, you know what? It's finally happening. So I'm really excited. So the next couple of weeks, you're going to be moving at breakneck speed. Yeah.
Well, and DHB wants to know how do you keep all your stories straight?
I don't. There are definitely times. I mean, I'm working through in the next Glenmire Whim mystery right now. I actually had to, write a bunch of it and then put it on hold while I wrote the 3rd Coco Klein book. And when I came back to my manuscript a couple weeks ago, I'm reading and I'm really engaged in the story, and I'm seeing all of these clues that are in the manuscript, but I have no idea what those clues mean for me as the writer. Because it's like, I know that I put this in here, and because I did not notate it in my outline, it's like, well, we'll see if I figure out what I intended, or, if I don't figure that out, I can at least take what I have now and go in a direction that present me, the light bulb dings and we have a solution.
Right. I hear you. So one other quick question regarding release date, October 31st. What format will will Over My Dead blog come out in, and where can people get their hands on it?
Yes. So it is going to be coming out initially on ebook and paperback. It'll be available on Kindle Unlimited. And so it'll be available on Amazon's platform. And then I hope to have the audiobook released by the end of 2023. But I've actually have yet to ask my narrator if she's free to do that. So it will eventually be available in audiobook as well. And my hope is to have purchase links up on Amazon within the next week, because now we are able to schedule the release of paperbacks ahead of time. For authors in the indie space, we haven't had that ability before on our end. And that email just came out this week, and I was super excited. It's like, oh, this is the perfect time. Everything's aligning finally.
Yeah, nice. Well, and then with paperback, folks, if they don't, if they're not an Amazon person, paperbacks are then available at other locations, aren't they? Or are paperbacks only through Amazon as well?
I believe they are available with expanded distribution. You can get them at Barnes & Noble and such. I believe, though, you have to ask. It's not like something that's going to be available in store. It's something that has to be ordered.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, cool. Well, there you have it, folks. October 31st, Halloween. It's going to be a fun day. And if you want to participate in Halloween, you can order My Dead blog, Over My Dead blog. If you don't want to participate in Halloween, you can order Over My Dead blog and read it as a distraction. And, man, time's up. This is killing me, because I have so many questions I want to ask about Arwen and Strider. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, J.R.R. Tolkien. But anyway, Sarah, this has been a blast. I'm so excited for you because I know how long this journey has been for Winnie. And I'm just so thrilled. And I want to thank you for taking the time to share this with us. This is a great way to get the weekend started.
I thank you. I'm so, and yes, the weekend is here. I'm feeling just like so happy that this is out in the world. And I'm glad that we got to chat about this, especially with our friends here at A Bookish Moment. It's always great to connect with you guys and to celebrate our love of books. And now I'll be able to talk a little bit more or less cryptically about Over My Dead blog and the trials and the fun times that I've had with bringing this book to life. So
Yeah.
I'm super glad that you all were able to join us here for a special Friday afternoon edition of A Bookish Moment. If you hang tight with us for a little bit longer, you'll get to hear our new theme song as we play ourselves out. But
Yes.
until
Real
then,
quick, though.
and
Hold on. I do have one more quick question.
Yeah.
Because we haven't had a chance to ask you this, Sarah. Where can folks find you?
oh gosh, where can folks? Well, they can find me here at A Bookish Moment or The Bookish Hour, which we are launching next week. Next Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our season premiere of The Bookish Hour. You guys can subscribe to our channel on YouTube or visit us at itsbookishtime.com to sign up for episode reminders. While you're at itsbookishtime.com, you could also visit saraheburr.com, where you can stay connected with everything that I have going on. I update my blog twice a month. I also do features for authors in a series called Make Note Of. And of course, you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook at author Sarah E. Burr. I'm on Threads. I'm not on Twitter anymore, so don't look for me there. But other than that, make sure to connect because I love staying in touch with you.
All right.
Excellent. Well, again, everybody, thank you for joining us this afternoon. And without further ado, have a wonderful weekend. We'll hopefully see you next week for our Bookish Hour premiere, and enjoy our end credits as we play ourselves off. Stay bookish, everyone. Have a good one.